Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Fam 2 Cents. Today we are making a pork stir fry. As you can see now, I am cutting the vegetables. All the ingredients are here on the left side of the screen. We had broccoli, red bell peppers, mushrooms, green onions, and garlic. That's what you see me cutting up here. No particularly strict guidelines as far as how you should cut them. You should cut them however you want them. Bigger pieces, smaller pieces, whatever you want to do. It'll determine how long you need to cook them and everything. So whatever your liking is for your vegetables, feel free to do that. As you can see here, I have the marinated pork, and I used some teriyaki marinade and soy sauce and a little bit of salt for the marinade. Now the ingredients list does state the need for olive oil, but I didn't have any olive oil. I used canola. And one thing you'll notice here, especially if you're good at making stir fry, is I did a cardinal sin. I put too much meat in there at one time, but that's okay. This is the way that I cook it. The reason that they tell you not to do that is because it begins to kind of stew. Like there's a lot of juices and stuff that start to form in the bottom, and instead of it getting a nice char, it'll start to kind of just stew the meat, and generally that's what you don't want to happen. But what I do is I take those excess juices that go in the bottom of there and I pour it out of the wok, and then as they are cooking and getting their char, I'll slowly redistribute all those juices that formed in there, and you still kind of end up with the pretty much the same result in my experience. If you don't want to do it this way, it's fine, but I don't really have the luxury of high heat charring my meat in this wok because it is a very cheap wok that I bought for like 14 bucks because it's all I could afford at the time. So I kind of had to go with the flow there. As you can see here, I'm cooking the broccoli ahead of time, just giving it a nice little, what is this, blanching? Is that what it's called, essentially? Because we don't want to put the raw, well, I don't like to put raw broccoli in with my stir fry ahead of time. I'll cook it just a little bit, so that way when I stir fry it with the other vegetables, it gets done when they do. Here we're creating the sauce. The sauce is pretty simple. As you can see, I started off with the garlic, hit it with a little bit of the soy sauce and the teriyaki marinade. Then I threw the green onions in there, allow that to simmer for just a little bit. This usually calls for cornstarch, but I don't have any cornstarch, so I used a little bit of flour. And once you get that to thicken up a little bit, you go ahead and toss your mushrooms and your peppers in there. Those are the most absorbent. They'll like get a lot of that flavor in there ahead of time. Once you toss the broccoli in there, that's when, once again, a lot of the juices are going to start forming at the bottom. And as I did with the meat before, I allow those juices to accumulate, pour them into a separate bowl, crank the heat up, and then start slowly redistributing those juices back into the food afterwards, and that thickens it up really nice, gives the vegetables and everything else in there a nice little char. As I said, a lot of people won't do it this way. This is kind of the way I have to do it. It just, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. But I've gone ahead and reintroduced the meat back into the vegetables and give that a nice stir, and at that point you're just cooking them to your liking. Now, the firmness of my vegetables and stuff like that all really depends on my mood. Sometimes I like them with a little bit of bite. Sometimes I like them to be a little, I don't like this word, but mushier. I mean, it's it's not the best word to use when you're talking about food, but I mean, that is essentially the state of it. It just depends on how I'm feeling at the time. And after you're done, this is what you end up with. It looks good. And it tastes even better. I wish you guys could taste it or even smell it. It was freaking amazing. But that is my pork steak stir fry. It was very good. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to make sure that you are informed of any future videos that I'll be doing. And yeah, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I love the engagement, guys, and I wish there was more of it. So let me know what you guys think about the food, and I'll see you guys on the next one.